Hi there, in this screencast I'm going to show you a little bit about the Orchive website. The Orchive is a website that's a collaboration between Orca which is a small land-based research station on the north end of Vancouver Island, on a little island called Hansen Island, and some researchers at the University of Victoria. And Orca has recorded over 20,000 hours of orca recordings from a bunch of hydrophones they have in the water. And we've been digitizing those and turning it into a website that you can look at. So to go there, go to the Orchive, you type orchive.cs.uvic.ca. And you can just read a little bit about it. We have an about and a tour, but the link we're interested in today is the Orchive. So let's click on that. And just by default, I've chosen a nice recording from 2005, and this is tape 449A. So this full recording is 45 minutes long, but we're just looking at a little tiny section of it. So to start listening to it, you can just press play, and it'll start playing the sound. But we can just zip ahead to a new place in the recording by double-clicking, and it'll play the orca recordings at those places. To move around, you can just click and drag. So by clicking and dragging, you can move around the whole recording and look at different things. You can also move forward in time by using the arrow keys. You can use the forward and back arrow keys to move around in time. That's sometimes a little bit more easy to use. You can zoom out by using this negative magnifying glass, so we can zoom further out. And to kind of get a feeling of where this zoom window is in the entire recording, look down at this overview window here, and you can see a little rectangle here, and that corresponds to the current view. So when we zoom out, it'll show more and more of the whole recording until finally we see the entire recording here. You can also zoom in right around where the cursor is by using this button, so that zooms us right in, and this one will zoom us right out. So by using a combination of these and double clicking around, we can move to different places in the recording. You can also move around by using this bottom global navigator view down here. So let's zoom right in and let's listen to some recordings. And you'll notice that there's this little arrow over here, and when we have that orange, by clicking on it, then when this playback position gets to the end of this window, it'll page forward, so it'll just keep the playback bar in position. We can see what the current time is down here by actually looking at this thing that says 2005, September 1st at 6:33. So we've set up this recording so it knows when it started. And so what we're listening to now was recorded in 2005, September 1st at 6:33 in the morning. The really neat thing about this, though, is the annotations. So multiple users can all have their own annotations, and right now we have 3 users that have annotated this recording. So if I just stop this recording and just zoom back to the very start of the recording, then 3 users have annotated, and we can look at their annotations. So this is from Stephen Ness, from me, and George did some annotations as well, as so did Marie, made some annotations. In a later recording, we'll show you how to make your own annotations. And these can be any kind of words that you like in here, and right now we're just kind of labeling them orca so we can train our machine learning classifiers on it. If you look a little further down the page, you can see this incidence report. And as soon as we've set this date in the recording, and that's what an administrator will do, is set this date in the recording, then we get the incidence report that tells us what whales were observed and what pods were observed, and which recorders were used for that, like Flower Island, Local Left, Parson Island, and when the incidence report was recorded, and if the whales were identified visually or acoustically. Another really neat thing is that for every day and every recording, they wrote down in a lab book, what they listened to and what whales they saw, and a whole bunch of system information. And that's in this window here. So we can see that tape 449A, which is the one we're looking at, so tape 449A from 2005, and that was recorded at 6:05 a.m. and you can see that's the same time as here. and you can read a whole bunch of interesting information. We have about 30,000 lab book pages, so it's just a ton of awesome information in there. Again, a little bit further down on the page, we can see all the different annotations that all the users did, and the full annotation and which user they did, and the start and end time of that annotation. So thank you very much, and in a future look for the other recordings or the other screencasts to see how to make your own annotations. Thanks. This is Stephen Ness, and if you want to contact us, just send me an email at snes@snes.net, and we'd love to get any contact and any feedback from anyone.